Welcome to Stories for Wonderful Children, the podcast where I share the recordings of the bedtime stories I've improvised for my children over the years. I'm Dan Wendelin, your host and storyteller. Today's story was told in August of 2008, and it's a story about an unlikely hero, a tick. But this tick is very unusual. To find out why, listen to this story. There was a tick named Dewey, and...
A tick?
Yes. And Dewey was a tick with a problem. His problem was this. Dewey did not like the taste of blood. And I don't mean that he just thought that, it was kind of, he wished he could have, a different flavor blood or something, or that he thought he would drink it and think, oh, that's kind of nasty. No. Dewey, when he even tasted blood, he felt like he was going to throw up. He got sick to his stomach. And the problem for Dewey was that all ticks eat is blood. There's really nothing else that they can eat. And so, he lived a rather miserable existence. He had tried all different kinds of blood. He had tried dropping onto lizards and trying lizard blood. He had tried dog blood, cat blood, people blood, bird blood. All the different kinds of blood he could think of. He tried sucking blood out of just about anything that moves. One time he tried sucking blood out of a lawnmower that had passed by underneath.
A lawnmower?
But he hadn't been able to get anything out of it.
Kind of weird.
He'd also tried sucking blood out of a bicycle tire.
What?
And when he got his fangs inside the tire, the air inflated him so that he looked like a little rubber ball instead of a tick for a few days. And he had to just kind of roll around because he was inflated until all the air came back out of him. Dewey dreamed of finding something else that he could eat that would keep him alive that wasn't blood, because he figured by now that he had tried just about everything that he could think of. He tried sucking fluids out of everything that moved. Well, one day, Dewey dropped onto a monkey, and he sort of spent some time, because he dropped onto the monkey's tail, and ticks sort of like to bite up near the head and neck and ears, because they figure it's less likely that the monkeys will find him. And so he spent the day crawling up the monkey's fur toward the monkey's head. As he was crawling, he noticed the things the monkey was having. The monkey caught bugs, it caught little lizards, little birds, and it also ate fruit. And Dewey thought, well, that's interesting. And about that time, the monkey got done eating, and it sat down to do the thing that Dewey dreaded most, which was grooming. Monkeys like to sit and pick through each other's fur. And one of the things they're looking for when they pick through each other's fur is ticks. And sure enough, the monkey that was grooming Dewey's monkey found Dewey, and it picked him out of the monkey's fur and flicked him aside, and he went flying through the air, and he'd never even gotten to suck any of the monkey's blood. Which on one hand didn't disappoint him too much, because he thought of all the kinds of blood that he disliked, monkey blood was one of the ones that he disliked the most. But as fate would have it, when the monkey flicked him away, it flicked him into a mango tree. And Dewey had just seen the monkeys taking the mangoes and biting through their peels and eating the insides. And so, since Dewey was so hungry, he thought, well, if monkeys like mangoes, maybe I will too. And so he crawled over to a mango, and he crawled down it, and he felt weird crawling on a mango and thinking about sucking the juices out of a mango, because he'd never sucked the juices out of something that didn't move before. But he figured, well, if I tried to suck blood out of a lawnmower, then I guess I can try this. And And so he sank his fangs into the mango through the skin, and he sucked. And that first suck, he thought he had gone to heaven. The mango tasted as good to him as blood did bad. And he sucked, and he sucked, and he sucked, and he sucked. And when he had sucked his fill of mango juice, and his tummy was all full, he pulled his fangs out and he looked, and that mango didn't look even a little bit deflated. It had so much juice in it that he thought, I can come back tomorrow and eat from the same mango. And so at that point he saw a small jungle cat passing by underneath, and so he dropped out of the tree into the cat's fur, and he hitched a ride back toward a different part of the jungle. He rode the cat through the night, and then he hopped off towards morning. He was climbing up another tree. He knew this tree was a fruit tree too, and he thought he'd try it because he was already starting to feel hungry again. While he was climbing up the tree, he met another tick, and the tick said, "Oh, hi, Dewey." The other ticks didn't like Dewey very much. They thought he was weird, which, from a tick perspective, he was, because he didn't like blood. Dewey said, "Oh, you know what? I have discovered the most delicious thing in the world." "Oh yeah?" said the tick. "What is it? Snake blood?" "No," said Dewey. "Alligator blood?" "No." "Cat blood?" "No." "Monkey blood?" "No." "Lizard blood?" "No." "People blood?" "No." "Ew," said Dewey. "You are so gross." "Okay, I give up," said the other tick. Dewey said, and then he whispered it, "Mango juice." The other tick looked at him for a second, kind of squinted, and said, "Ew, you are so disgusting, Dewey." Dewey said, "No, you've got to try it, believe me." The tick said, "Goodbye, Dewey," and it walked off. Well, Dewey didn't care. He climbed the rest of the way up that tree. As it turned out, that tree that he was climbing up was a orange tree, actually. And so he sank his fangs into orange, and it took him a little longer to start getting the orange juice out, because oranges have a thicker skin than mangoes. But after a couple minutes he did, and he thought, wow, this is great. This is almost as good as mango. And from then on, that was what Dewey ate. He was Dewey the fruit tick, and none of the other ticks would talk to him, because they thought that he was just too bizarre. But Dewey, yeah, exactly. Dewey lived happily ever after, though. Happily taking his little bit of fruit juice from all over the jungle.
Thanks for listening to Stories for Wonderful Children. I created today's story, but questions and witty commentary were supplied by my children. The music was created by Brandon Thompson. Your reviews and personal recommendations are the main way that new listeners find the show, so thank you for spreading the word. I'd love to hear your feedback, so feel free to get in touch via email or social media, which are listed in the show notes. Until next time, I'm Dan Wendelin, reminding you to tell someone you love a story.